Now 3 more pictures of people, including what I presume to be a very frazzle-haired Sarah Palin. And then people in a movie theater watching giant robots fighting with MST3K style silhouettes. Fortunately, as I have demonstrated in this very review, I am armed with my own MST3K clips.
Well, it's hardly worth it, but boo!
And then a woman being stoned to death after being buried in the sand up to her head. And then world's greatest dad mug next to a dinosaur? Whenever you have a point, Frank, feel free to let us know. Anyway, the Fixer calls up one of his colleagues. No doubt a Superman analog named the Swinger or something. I'm tired. Let's steal a car. What a gentle soul. And yeah, they steal a cop car and listen in on the police radio. And what does he hear on the radio? That the terrorists attack and destroy the Blind Justice statue, aka the Statue of Liberty analog for Empire City. Oh, but I should probably point out how they destroy the statue. You see, the terrorists have jets. With missiles. Yeah, surprised? Boy, I sure as hell was. May I ask what may be a stupid question? If you have fully equipped and capable military hardware, including missile-armed jet planes and Stinger missiles, and you have a massive attack planned on this city, why the hell are you resorting to suicide bombers? You waste perfectly good soldiers under your command when you could just annihilate the city from a distance. What's the point of suicide bombing like that? Why not just throw the explosives into a crowded room and run? Did those assholes owe people money or something? Or was this just Al-Qaeda's plan to weed out all the really dumb members of their organization? You know, like, oh, there's Steve. Dude always spills his soda on the gunpowder. Let's make sure he doesn't mess this one up. Does Frank Miller not understand how terrorism works? If they have the resources to launch this kind of massive assault, they don't need suicide bombers! At this point, I'm not going to be surprised if they have a nuke, too! Oh, and enjoy some more heads, this time including President Obama, Vice President Biden, Kim Jong-il for some reason, some regular military, and some silhouettes of fists and a burning flag. What are you trying to say, Frank? At least the dumbass talking heads in The Dark Knight Strikes Again were saying things. What is the statement you're making when you just show the heads with no dialogue or captions? It'd be like suddenly cutting to still images of the other That Guy with the Glasses producers for no reason. So yeah, the Fixer has apparently been brought to complete silence by the destruction of the Blind Justice statue. No, it's not the death and carnage all around him that's left him speechless. It's the destruction of a statue. And look, I get it. Seeing an important symbol like that getting destroyed is demoralizing, but frankly, you should count your damn blessings they didn't turn those missiles on the city itself, asshole! Anyway, he still says this is just the beginning. We're seriously still just beginning? We're on page 93! The Fixer takes Natalie to some abandoned factory to talk with a guy and his 2 flunkies. Women who push out their asses behind them in an almost Rob Liefeld-esque distortion of body proportions. Beautiful Asian twins. You guys are so obvious. They are? What's obvious? What are you talking about? Did we miss some dialogue since we apparently decided to actually have a plot in the final part of the book? Anyway, the guy that the Fixer came to see is a guy with a blue Star of David tattooed on his face. Oh, what new spore of madness is this? Oh, and I'm not kidding about the plot condensing. With 24 pages remaining in the comic, Frank apparently decided to fit all the backstory and plot onto 1 page and 24 panels. Star of David guy is named, of course, David. He's an ex-Mossad agent who got kicked out for being too extreme in his interrogation methods. David apparently enlisted the Fixer to join him if a night like this came. David has figured out something's going on at the telecom building, and he's assembling mercenaries to deal with it, while the Fixer deals with the South Side action, though nobody actually knows what that is. And what's the story with those killer geishas of his? Killer geishas? You mean the 2 Asian ladies in skin-tight black suits? So, not satisfied with being racist towards Arabs, apparently we've expanded to Japanese racism. Why not, since Frank apparently really loved the 1940s propaganda comics unironically. Tara and Annika, two of his best students. They'd die for him if they weren't so busy killing for him. Or rather, killing for the Fixer, since he immediately says that he has ordered them to kill the police commissioner. Said commissioner is corrupt and is actually working for the terrorists, misdirecting every squad car in town and leaving the city wide open to attack. So yeah, more cold-blooded murder from the gentle soul that is the Fixer. The mayor, what will he say? Who cares? Oh, it'll make you sick. He'll haul out a bushel basket of kids. Family is always the excuse. The excuse for what? What are you talking about? And now time for backstory for the Fixer. You got yourself a family, Crime Stopper? No, never. I was never born. In fact, I'm just a figment of your imagination. Murdered parents? An exploded planet? Don't be silly. Oh, why stop now? Then why fight crime? Practice, staying in shape, getting ready for tonight. I've spent my whole life getting ready for tonight. That is the laziest bunch of bullcrap motivation and writing I have seen in a long time. I know you lost the Batman stuff, Frank, but you could have given him something. An ex-soldier, a guy whose family died on 9/11, just friggin' something! Why even bother bringing it up if you're just gonna half-ass it like this? Oh, and he admits he's falling in love with Natalie Stack. Well, whoopity-doo-dah! You both have as much personality as that blank white space that's apparently our background, so we really care about your romance that will go nowhere and amount to nothing that's just sprung up! It's sad, really. After all this is over, they'll split up because of their different personalities and interests. But at least they'll always have terrorism. Anyway, after a caricature of Obama, we see a presumably Muslim man beat his wife for no reason. Nope, this is totally about terrorism and not Frank's own deep-seated issues. So back to the plot, or rather this low-fat imitation plot we've been served. The two arrive at the oldest mosque in Empire City, which the Fixer is sure to let us know that it was paid for by the Saudis and is really huge and mysterious. Without any cops or soldiers around, you'd think the National Guard would have arrived by this point, or does Frank assume that the military is controlled by the local police too, just to build on his ever-growing list of things he doesn't actually understand? It's up to the two of them to stop Al-Qaeda. You'd think police choppers would be swarming like hornets. That'd be profiling, so we watch them from space. What? And then he calls someone he only identifies as General and says to aim one of their pea shooters at Empire City. Natalie asks who he called. Somebody who doesn't command orbiting laser cannons that don't exist.
But that could just be orbital wobble.
You're telling me you're gonna blast a mosque with a laser from outer space? I don't know. I'm exploring options. Huh? No, Beppo the Invisible Monkey, I have not gone insane yet. But I think I soon will. He sends Natalie inside to get intel, telling her to get something to hide her face. You sure as hell better watch my back. There's no back I'd rather watch. Time and place, asshole! Also, giant snail. Probably just a statue, but maybe this is actually all part of the spiral curse from Uzumaki. It'd explain a whole lot. And Natalie, where did you get that trapeze line? And why do you look so bored?
Isn't it weird how life imitates art, and I'm like sleeping right now too. Yeah.
So she mugs a random woman and takes her full body concealing attire. The night wind blows away 7 centuries. The hell does that even... You know what? I don't care. To make a long, well, not really that long since all this comic story is in its final act, To make a short but dull story even shorter, she makes her way down farther in the mosque than anyone ever thought was there. It turns out there's some kind of ancient underground city below sea level that Al-Qaeda has taken over and populated with hundreds of fully armed soldiers, none of whom are wearing helmets, just all the bandages. But why would we expect things to make sense after ancient underground city underneath a mosque? Actually, there are helmets, specifically Spartan helmets, littering the place. I'd say it was just Frank being cute and referencing 300, but I don't think he's that clever. Archaeologists have only been able to shake their heads, bewildered by its ornaments, its architecture. Some say it was built by a race of madmen. I sincerely doubt that, since this is the first legitimately detailed background we've had in the entire damn comic. Oh, and a big lake of Pepto-Bismol. I don't get it. Also, some guy in a wife beater. He's apparently Irish according to the comic, but given Frank's prior experience writing Irish characters, or rather Irish Ninja Black Canary, I'm not exactly sold on this. Also, he calls the terrorists sand monkeys. I guess everyone is racist today. The Irish guy sees through Natalie's fake accent right away, but doesn't care. Because I guess he's an idiot. Well, he's especially one because he outlines Al-Qaeda's entire plan, that they've smuggled in components from 37 countries and assembled this giant device, ostensibly some kind of large bomb. I just now got the whole works put together, and a fine piece of falderall she is, but damn those Ruskies to hell's own belly. From 37 countries they smuggled the components, 37 no less, and not a soul among them's got the God-given wits to see they're reading their own blessed blueprints upside down. So upside down she is. The hell does that mean? If you assembled it, doesn't that mean you put it together upside down? And it's just upside down blueprints. If it came shipped that way, then turn it right side up. Listening to this man makes my brain hurt. You and me both! What is even happening now? The woman Natalie stole the clothes from was supposed to be carrying a trigger for the device, but naturally she doesn't have it. With no other choice, she has to reveal herself, but here's this stupidity for you. They look at murder like they're giving with a mitzvah. They get their rocks off giving their own death a big wet French kiss. But they're still scared of girls. I give the boys a non-second of fishnet shock. And then they immediately detain her or shoot her, right? Because they're not stupid, and that's not the purpose of the face and body concealing clothes. No, they just look in shock, which allows Natalie to kill the Irish guy with boot to the head, then evade the gunfire of the soldiers. Wait, is that a T-Rex? What the hell? And then she dives into the pink. And the rest of the page and the following one are all in pink. Oh my god. It's finally happened. This is what happens when there's too much pink energy! This is why too much pink energy is dangerous! Give my regards to those 72 black-eyed virgins, you son of a bitch. It's really hard for me to muster up any more contempt for this book and its writer than I already have. Plus, it's really hard for me to be snarky about any of this when their entire battle is being waged in pink lemonade.
3, 2, 1. Okay, it's time for the commercials. I should know. I'm from the future. 5, 4. Wait a second. You guys are back early. I'm going to have to figure out what that means for the space-time continuum.
They quickly capture Natalie and... what the hell? They tied her up using Japanese rope bondage? I don't... what? Oh, and this is what I meant earlier. Sexualized Natalie Stack in rope bondage as a hostage who's waiting for Fixer to rescue her. Of course. Oh, and it's finally time to meet the leader of this operation. The grand puppeteer who has manipulated the police commissioner, destroyed a large statue, organized jets and an invasion, and what the hell is that? His entire body is covered in beads except for his mouth, and those beads are underneath his robes and turban. This guy actually dressed himself like this. He chose to put this stuff on.
There. Sure glad I don't look stupid in this.
Wait a second. I know what's actually going on here. He's using the vibrating heat suit from Jimmy Tango's Fat Busters.
I've taken those speed pills of yours, and I'm wearing your vibrating heat beads. And by riding your snake, not only have I shed 65 pounds in 4 days, but guess what? I found out I'm the devil!
Oh dear lord, this artwork is so awful. Look how tiny this guy is compared to Natalie Stack and the other terrorists. Apparently the leader of Al-Qaeda hails from the land of elves. Oh, but the absolute cherry on top of this sundae is the dialogue. Not all of us around here have a problem with English, my curvy young infidel. And not all of you have a problem with being a lecherous weirdo, you short, beady weirdo. And as my unfortunate Irish colleague demonstrates, our recruits aren't limited to those from the Middle East. By his own admission, he wasn't a recruit. You guys were paying him to build your bomb. And no, I didn't keep you alive just to gloat. It was also to leer at you. Also, main character shields. Your beheading will make a bitch of a video. Maybe if we'll do you nude, that'd put the fear of Allah in you. Are you real? Are you really what Frank Miller thinks the leadership of Al-Qaeda is like? That's adorable. Okay, alright, I'll gloat. You Westerners slay me with your naivete. We come right out and call ourselves Al-Qaeda, the Cell, and you don't stop to consider what that means. You're big fans of that Jennifer Lopez sci-fi movie? And here's where we get into Frank Miller's paranoid ramblings and conspiracy theories. We're scarcely a microbe, a speck, a tiny part of an organism so vast as to be beyond belief. Were I utterly at your mercy right this minute, bloody, beaten, sniveling like a baby, ready to tell you everything, even I could only provide the vaguest hint of the organization's size. Or its true purpose. True purpose? What, are you actually aliens intent on using us as cattle? Al-Qaeda's been pretty clear about their true purpose the whole time. And apparently they got the trigger they wanted anyway, so they ready their bomb. Except then silly Al-Qaeda leader Beadman gets his arm blown off, as do the heads of some of the Muslim mummies. The Fixer comes swinging in wielding twin guns, some kind of big rocket cannon on his back, and a puke green face shield. After setting off some grenades, he slaps a green face mask on Natalie and fires the big cannon at the bomb. We don't see it, but Natalie helpfully narrates to us as the terrorists who were still alive begin vomiting out their own intestines and disintegrate. The bomb that Al-Qaeda was planning to detonate was some kind of chemical weapon. And so our comic ends 6 weeks later with Dan Donegal waking up from a nightmare of another nail explosion. And it's just describing how the city is kind of quiet, some people coughing, and people suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. No wonder we call it terror. The end! This comic sucks! 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 Sucks. Let's put aside the bigotry in full force here, the inaccuracies about Islam, and the horrible opinions of its critically acclaimed writer and artist for the moment. I think I've gone over all of that in wonderful detail throughout this whole lengthy review. No, let's instead talk about everything else that's wrong with it. The writing is dreadful. There's no characterization here. People say words, but they're all plot-related stuff. The Fixer is a non-entity, same for Natalie Stack. They exist solely to beat up terrorists and talk about how awesome they are and how terrorists are assholes. That's it. Hell, why did this thing even end with Dan Donegal? He was in the story for like 3 or 4 pages before that ending. The plot itself is weak as all get out. Terrorists attack, the two kill the remaining terrorists. That's all. And that leads me to a huge problem with the thing. The pacing. Over half the book is dedicated to our heroes chasing each other, then the terrorist attack, and then them deciding to stop the terrorists. It takes us 2/3 of the way into the book before the two get their first clue, which ends up being a dud anyway to lead into an action scene. It's only in the last third of the book that the plot actually gets around to moving forward, and even then it's full of utter ridiculousness. Why the David guy? What purpose did he serve in the story? Why does he have a Star of David painted on his face? Why does he have 2 twin Asian assassins working for him? Why didn't the mosque have any guards or security systems to alert them of Natalie's presence? What was the deal with the bomb being upside down? Why did Al-Qaeda need to subcontract some Irish guy to build their bomb? Don't they know how to make bombs? In fact, I'd assume they were kind of experts on the subject. Why the conspiracy theory nonsense about Al-Qaeda being some huge Leviathan organization with hidden motives beyond what we see? Frank Miller's always going on about how we need to deal with our big enemy, Al-Qaeda, and how America is too lazy and stupid to deal with them, so why make up crap that will only alienate people from your cause? What the hell was the deal with that Al-Qaeda leader?
It just raises too many questions.
And then there's the art. The god-awful, confusing, lazy art. In a few spots, Frank Miller's legendary use of negative space is fine, but most of the time this book looks dreadful. People don't look like people, or are just bent in bizarre ways. There aren't any backgrounds, just blank white or black. The attempts at depicting weather just make everything look muddy and confused. Half the book is just splash pages, while other pages have far more panels than they need. And the splashes of color we do get seem almost randomly placed with no rhyme or reason. Speaking of random, interludes featuring talking heads that don't talk, resulting in no context or sense behind their inclusion, other than the fact that this is a politically charged book, so here are some politicians! And of course, that brings us to the politics. The awful politics of this book. It is a comic completely ungrounded in anything resembling reality, but not in the fun kind of way that a superhero comic should be. The Fixer is a racist, bigoted individual who gladly tortures, kills, and mutilates his enemies with impunity. Al-Qaeda is not a guerrilla terrorist faction, but some kind of massive organization employing apparently every Muslim under the sun to kill those who would be innocent and kind, and we are equally justified in treating them as subhuman. There is no chance for redemption or rehabilitation. There is no good Muslim. They're either misguided victims like the out-of-nowhere sequence where a woman is beaten by presumably her husband, or they are mass murderers like Amina the exchange student, or any of the other dozens of nameless terrorists encountered in this story. They're all stereotypes. And in the end, what is accomplished? Insulting 1 billion people for their religion, a story about a killer who murders other killers with no personality or backstory, and a guy waking up from a nightmare because terrorism! That's all! This book is a testament to 4 things.
Human slaughter, torture, misery, and anguish.
It is the nail in the coffin for Frank Miller's career in mainstream comics. He said recently that he wants to work at Marvel and do Captain America, but even Marvel has laughed off that idea because of this trash. And yes, it is trash. Let me make something clear here in relation to the tagline of this show, Where Bad Comics Burn. I am an advocate of free speech. I do not deny Frank Miller the right to publish this thing, nor do I deny others the right to purchase it if they so choose. However, this copy belongs to me. It is my property. And I have decided that I do not want it in my home any longer. What the? Oh, it's me! Only less handsome. Who the hell are you? And why do you look like me, but with a stupid Evil Mirror Universe goatee? Oh. Yes, Linkara, I am you, but from another universe. Are you the one from the universe that Iron Liz visited a few years ago? Indeed I am! A transposition had taken place. Where is Iron Liz anyway? I wish to gain my vengeance!
Hey, Linkara, I think I tracked down Judas Liz. Can I You're in the middle of something. I'll catch you later.
She's around. She's just doing her own thing. Well, I'll deal with her soon enough. But we seem to be at an impasse ourselves. What the hell are you doing here? Wait, is your beard painted on? It's a long story involving Snowflame and some ice cream cake, but that's not important right now. The Iron Liz of your universe convinced the Dr. Insano of my universe to use my spaceship to keep me from conquering the world. Ever since then, I've been on the run. I figured that I'd try my luck outside my own universe. What the hell is it with alternate universe versions of me wanting to kick my ass? Did I miss a meeting? Silence! At this rate, Lord Vice is gonna be revealed as an alternate me or something. Be quiet! I will give you one chance, Linkara. Join me, and together we can rule this world. Not interested. Be sure. There must be something that you want. You want credits? You'll be a rich man. What is it that will buy you? Power? I can get that for you! An answer to a question would be a good start. You've got a magic gun. Where'd you purchase that? It's a weapon, forged by a demonic cult, intent on spreading the word of their god. It destroyed the fools and found its way into my possession.
And in this mirror universe of yours, was there a girl who was sacrificed by that cult? Born out of hatred and pain?
Hatred and pain? You stupid little girl. I volunteered.
You can shoot them now.
Shooting! You do realize you have, like, no room for cover, right? I opened up the living room a while ago. Really? Because there's a table right here. But then again, who needs cover when you've got superior technology? I did not come here unprepared, Linkara. Behold the wonders of the arsenal of oppression. Nimue, analysis.
Information. The device is similar in function to an anti-magic field generator. However, its suppression method requires a brief amount of time to analyze the foe and adapt.
So you're saying that I need to change up what I'm fighting with every minute or so?
Confirmed.
Oh, then I am going to have some fun. Come out, Linkara! I have you cornered and disarmed. Hardly! 6 years and 300 episodes? I have not been idle. So soon? All right, let's change it up. Aha! Oh, poop. Cause I got a brand new combine harvester and I'll give you the key. Da, 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 da. Come on down, let's get together in perfect harmony. I got 20 acres and you got 43. Cause I got a brand new combine harvester and I'll give you the key. Huh. Technically, I never got a chance to use this before, but better late than never. That's just peachy. Would you stop cosplaying already and fight me, you shrill hobo? Funny you should mention that. I really love this coat. What a pity. You activated my trap card. Oh, shit. You are such a dork! Such a child! Acting out some kind of power fantasy! I prefer to think of it as sound strategy. You're just as egomaniacal as I am. We're not that different. Hell, I'm a prima donna. I admit it. I've been through a hell of a journey these last 300 episodes. I've been forced to see some awful things. Some arriving in my apartment, and some just trying to bring me down for fun. But because of all the things I've seen, all the people I've met, for good and for ill, I've become better. The monsters, though? They stayed monsters. Pyramid Head, I choose you! It hasn't been easy. A few times since I started, I've wanted to give up. But I've met a lot of amazing people. Loved ones, colleagues, friends. Oh, most especially my friends. My friends, you have been the most amazing of all. Thanks to them, I didn't end up like you. The device, if you would be so kind. Welcome to Atop the Fourth Wall, where bad comics burn, good comics are praised, and ignorance and hatred are unwelcome. Now take your gun and go back where you came from.
What do you wear that stupid flower crown anyway?
I get bored, I go on Tumblr, shoot me.
You're the real evil one.
Yeah, now get the hell out of my universe, you big baby.
You really suck at this.
We'll talk about this later. Mark my words, Linkara, you have not seen the last of me! Have you finished accessing his dimensional transporter?
Confirmed.
Send his ass back. And I'm assuming that while you were in there, you made sure to fuse the circuitry so we can't just beam to another world?
Confirmed.
Thank you, Nimue. And thanks to all of you for sticking with this little silly comic show for 300 episodes. Here's to the next 300.
Not science, but hey, what do they know? He is not really a have managed to slip through the rift. But Lord Vice is a thing of the past, and it seems Mecha-Cara's been finally trashed, right? When evil, growing like cancer, got Buffalo Clown and the ninja-style dancer Linkara stepped up to the plate, grabbed onto the fate of the world and defeated.
Dear Lord, this is actually the back inside cover of the book, and the nails are still traveling outward from the initial explosion. When will they end?
Bye. Bye.
That's the only thing actually about the head falling over, just kind of like, oh my god, what are you doing?